I do want to talk about Hugh Jackman as the Easter Bunny. Because I liked the fact that the Easter Bunny is Australian.
He's so freaking Dutch.
He's so Australian in this movie. And
Yes.
Hugh Jackman is Australian. They just like...
I really do wonder, did they make him Australian because of Hugh Jackman, or did they decide the bunny was going to be Australian and then picked Hugh Jackman?
I think maybe because when I think they casted Hugh Jackman first, and then like, you know what? Let's just make him completely Australian.
Let's make him as stereotypically Australian.
Let him carry boomerangs.
Why does Easter Bunny have a boomerang? What the fuck? I mean, they show...
Not saying it's a bad thing, but
it's not a bad thing, but why? I didn't even know they celebrated Easter in Australia. I mean, I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong.
Yes, for any international viewers out there.
But yeah, I just thought that was kind of weird. I mean, it gave him a unique personality, don't get me wrong. But
I like the interaction between him and Jack Frost, and that I see like a lot of conflict between the two. Like Easter Bunny's like, oh, Jack Frost is just this kid, he's not going to take this seriously. And along the way, you know, the Easter Bunny gets to see more of what Jack really is, what Jack is all about, you know, that yeah, he's here to have fun, but he's there to interact, you know, he's more in one with the children. And all the other holidays, even though they've played with children before, they've been with the children before, they're not interactive as much as they once were. And I like that, especially in that scene where they're actually at the Easter Bunny lair or garden or whatever you want to call it. And, you know, all of a sudden you see them, you know, Jack Frost is like, don't you have time to play with the children? Like, we're so busy, you know, protecting the children that we don't play with the children.
That's the best line in the movie.
I know.
It's like those PTA moms who like get it up in arms every time something like, you know, that they think is inappropriate for their children like comes up, and you know they spend so much time trying to protect their children that they don't actually like pay attention to their children who's off like doing whatever, and then when it actually comes time to interact with their children they have no clue what to do. That's kind of what it feels like.
Yes.
And at the same time, you know, at least the guardians, you know the essence of children.
Yes.
They know what they like and everything. It's all a matter of, you know, more interaction.
Mm-hmm. And that ties in with, you know, with one of the adult themes in this movie is, you know, something adults can relate to, you know, being able to, you know, you got to be able to play with your children. You got to be able to. You got to make time for it. And I mean, that's what I try. I mean, I have a little brother. He's like, he's 11 now, and I try to play and I try to see him as much as I can, you know, because I'm still a kid at heart. I really am. And
me too. Isn't it obvious? I understand too. I mean, I have 4 younger siblings of my own. True, most of them are grown up by now, but you know, being able to play that's essential. I gotta say, I do like that one power that Jack has, where he blows a snowflake in your face, and suddenly you're just filled with happy.
That's like that every time you see. It's like that every time we see his first snowfall, or you know, or just, you know, first snowflake. You know, or just standing out there, you know, just watching the snowfall. Mm-hmm. Like what happened like a few weeks ago when we actually did get a little bit of snow shortly after Hurricane Sandy. But
yeah, in that case, I was like, no.
But it wasn't too bad though.
True.
But in any regards. Also, we got to mention the Tooth Fairy. Because the Tooth... Now, this was actually kind of smart, what they did with the Tooth Fairy, where they actually give her a reason for collecting teeth, and a good reason, and which is that she collects teeth not because, you know, it's her job, but because she keeps the teeth, you know, because it contains the memories of the children, and whenever the children need something to remind themselves of that memory, you know, that's what it's there for. The Tooth Fairy does that, and I thought that was kind of smart. Mm-hmm. both from a mystical and from a scientific standpoint.
Science, what's that got to do with this?
No, but No, I know. I thought of the science aspect of it. It does make sense too, because there is like DNA and like there's part of it has DNA in there, but regardless, I mean, it makes sense for them to keep. It contains the memory. It contains the memories of the children, and I like that.
I guess it's the only time that I've ever seen, a reason for why the Tooth Fairy does what she does. Because I've seen like all these renditions of Tooth Fairies before, either in TV shows or in movies, and sometimes they have movies that are about the Tooth Fairy, but they don't really go in detail as to why they do what they do. And this one, like, it's a legitimate reason, and it's a pretty cool reason too. I mean, I had my own weird theory that weird mind of mine, just that Tooth Fairy would go around collecting baby teeth, which she would give back to God, who would use it when making new babies, thus recycling teeth over and over again. My sick little mind, but I like the reason for this though, and It's pretty cool that like they can actually access their memories and like see all the happy times. It makes me wish that I kept my old teeth.
And before anybody comments about this, no, I have not seen the Tooth Fairy with the Rock. No.
Who has?
I'm afraid somebody's going to make a comment about that, why the Tooth Fairy does what they do. No, I have not seen it. Please don't explain it if you have.
I've seen a review of it, and that is all.
But,
we should mention the best character of all, Sandy.
Oh, Sandman. Sandman doesn't talk.
He's our resident Silent Bob. But
it does kind of look like a little mini chubby Silent Bob.
I love it. He communicates by forming pictures with the sand in his body.
Above his head. Like little thought bubbles.
He's kind of like Q*bert with those symbols that he makes when he talks. But I like Sandy. I mean, like I said, he's of course the Silent Bob of the group, and he kind of he hangs in the background. At the same time, he's still really useful in that he can use his sand to pretty much make anything.
He provides good dreams to the children.
I think he's like by far the most useful out of everyone. And when you think about it, he really doesn't need kids to believe in him, because I mean he's in charge of basically just putting people to sleep and giving them good dreams. I mean, you could do that for anyone of any age when you think about it.
Yeah, and it's for the same reason why Boogeyman would go after the Sandman, because without, good dreams, they would all be filled with like nightmares and, instill fear upon all of them. And I want to quickly point out about Jude Law's performance. It was such a good performance, like a really, really good villain performance, like probably one of the best villains that I've seen this year. Because just his voice, I mean, Jude Law has a slight British accent, but it doesn't. You don't really hear that much in this. It's slight, it's very subtle, but it still has that sinister. But he still comes off as a very sinister villain, and I like sinister villains.
I do like that too. In a way, he's kind of what you imagine when you think of Disney villains. That he has like a cool, really dark look about him, but at the same time, he's not like all maniacal and like campy or anything. He's like all suave and sophisticated, and it's like, I want to be that dude. He's so cool.
It's kind of like one of the more classic Disney villains. Like if I had to compare this to anybody, this is the first thing that's coming off the top of my head. Probably Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, because she's very sinister and very sinister and calculating, and that's basically what Pitch is here. Very very calm, very calculating, and he knows exactly what he needs to do to to instill fear upon everyone and make them not believe in all of them anymore.
Yeah, his plan was actually pretty good. Harness the dreams first, make the kids all tired and demoralized and everything, and then slowly take over the other holidays. Technically the Tooth Fairy doesn't represent a holiday, but
just losing their faith in them. He basically he wants revenge from the Dark Ages. How he was in the Dark Ages, and how the darkness conquered everyone, which makes sense, especially not just the Dark Ages with the knights and whatnot, but like just that but just that whole period when man didn't really have like what we have here right now, which is lights, illuminate the dark.
Yeah, where fear reigns supreme.
Yes, and all creepy stuff happens at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do wonder though, because I mean they show that when his reign was big, all 4 of them were summoned in at once. But I'm thinking this had to have taken place like a good couple hundred years ago. I don't think people were exactly believing in. Well, maybe they believed in Santa. I don't know if he was like around at that point yet. But the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, the Sandman. I mean,
the Sandman.
Well, he's kind of like a sleep deity, so I guess people would...
It could go back farther. I don't know the exact origin of it. Santa Claus probably goes back to, I want to say, maybe the 1700s. I'm guessing, approximately. I mean, we don't get an actual image of Santa Claus until probably the 1800s. As far as... I mean, with Tooth Fairy, that I don't really know.
But yeah, it's just weird, like seeing like how just seeing them all just gathered together at once. It's like there's, oh no, these kids are being scared. Merry Christmas, Happy Easter. Here's a quarter.
Don't forget to floss. Oh, speaking of quarters, I want to describe there are some funny moments in this movie. The best one is when they have to help out the Tooth Fairy from disappearing, from the kids not believing. So the other Guardians, they go around and they have to collect all the teeth from all the children from all over the world, and they're all trying to they're all trying to make a game out of this. They're all trying to one up each other, like stealing, see how many they can grab, and like Jack has a small bag, and like Easter Bunny has like a medium bag, and then you see Santa Claus in this big bag, and then
a bag. This is a bag.
You can't get more Australian than that. But they get all the teeth together. It's like, and they get to New York, and they're like, "Oh, we got all the teeth." And Tooth Fairy's like, "Did you leave anything under their pillow?" And they're all like, "Wait, supposed to leave something under their pillow?" So they go. And then they go into a laundromat, try to get quarters to make change. Just so they can have enough quarters, and they go back around the world the second time just to give them quarters. And then they give them quarters, and then there's candy cane, and there's Easter eggs, and then Santa Claus gives them a Christmas tree.
Christmas came early, kids.